Pick Six, brought to you by Davidson's Liquors, where you can make your own six-pack.
All
And
right.
today's topic is the Broncos' best value draft picks ever. Not their best picks, value draft picks. I'm first here?
Yeah.
Woody's first.
Oh,
Woody's first.
Number 6, Matt Prater. And people are not going to say that, but they picked him in like the 3rd or 4th round, I think. 5th round.
Did they pick him that high?
They may not have picked him. You know who I'm thinking of? I
Elam.
stand corrected.
Jason Elam was a 3rd-round pick.
Yeah. And Jason Elam set the NFL record. He won, what would you guess, 15 games for him?
Sure.
So I got the two
I'll
confused.
go with that.
Jason Elam was a great value pick because you don't draft kickers, and he had a Ring of Fame career here.
So you're saying it should be Jason Elam, not Matt
Yeah,
Prater?
Matt Prater
Okay,
was a
got
free
it.
agent. He had been
Yeah.
somewhere else, so I got the two confused.
Okay.
Tom Jackson came in about, I think, 4A, 4B. He was one of 2 guys drafted in the 4th round. Tom Jackson was an all-pro. I thought he was the spirit and soul of that team, and he lives forever because there's a website that's saying it's all over
Fat Man. Yeah.
which when the Broncos won in Oakland, and I was there in '77, and he ran by the sidelines and he said, "It's over, Fat Man."
To John Madden.
And it was, basically. It was. Tom Jackson, and, he's gone on to a nice career. Tom Nalen. I think he was a 7th-round pick.
He was. Boston
And
College.
He belongs in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Not the radio broadcasting Hall of Fame, but he
No, that's for sure.
but he belongs. I like Tom. And Tom was a great center in a zone blocking offense
Yep.
for years and years. I'd bring him to training camp and work with the centers on zone blocking. But is that not a good idea?
Not a bad idea.
He goes to camp all the time anyway, rides his bike over from wherever he
Yeah.
lives. Number 3, Karl Mecklenburg, drafted in like the last 11th round or something like
12th.
that. 12th round. Thank you. So,
Sure.
And we talked about P. Rose making the All-Star game at like 5 different positions.
Yeah.
Karl Mecklenburg made the Pro Bowl at like 3 or 4 different positions. So he linebacker, defensive end, defensive tackle, outside linebacker, inside linebacker. One of the greatest players who also belongs in the Hall of Fame. Number 2 would be Shannon Sharpe, who not only belongs in the Hall of Fame, but is in the Hall of Fame. And he was, I think, a 7th-round pick.
Yes, he was.
He was a wide receiver that they turned into a tight end. And there's a guy in the draft this year that the Broncos are interested in later in the draft who's a wide receiver at Georgia Tech that's going to end up being a tight end in the pros.
Okay.
Remember that.
I'll look him up.
Shannon Sharpe, of course. The number 1 value pick, we talked about him earlier with our guest, Doug Farrar, Terrell Davis. 6th-round draft pick, had been injured his senior year at Georgia. Gary Kubiak spotted him, liked him, convinced Mike Shanahan and the Broncos to pick him. Had a 2,000-yard year. Was the best running back in the NFL for 5 years. Got the Broncos. Without him, they wouldn't have won 2 Super Bowls.
Okay. My list is a little the same and a little different. Pick 6 brought to you by Davidson's Liquors.
And
the Broncos' best value picks in the draft
These are
ever.
picks that were made later in the draft.
Yeah. All right, here we go. My number 6 is Steve Foley, who still holds the record for most interceptions in a Broncos uniform. He has 44. He was an 8th-round draft pick. Played in 2 Super Bowls. Made the Pro Bowl 1 year. Number 5.
Well, wait, but
What?
before you go there,
What?
Steve Foley went off and played in the USFL for 2
Played 1
years
year.
as a
Played 1 year.
quarterback. But they drafted him before that?
He was an 8th-round draft pick.
By the Broncos?
You know, that's a good question. I don't know if he was a
think so.
USFL draft pick or a Broncos draft pick.
Yeah, I don't think that counts any more than
Okay.
my bad Prater. So
Number
we're gonna
5.
dismiss that.
Tyrone Braxton.
I thought he was a free agent.
Nope. He was a 12th-round draft pick of the Broncos.
Okay.
He played 13 years in the NFL. He started at safety and went to 4 Super Bowls with this team.
Yeah.
Played in 4
I
Super
thought you were
Bowls.
going to say 4 Pro Bowls.
Nope.
You didn't go to any Pro Bowls.
Number 4.
Okay.
12th-round pick. Tom Nalen, all the same reasons you said. Went to 5 Pro Bowls. 3 times All-Pro.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. My number 3 is Karl Mecklenburg. You know what he was? He was Lawrence Taylor light. They would play him everywhere. You never knew where he was coming from. Didn't quite make as many Pro Bowls as Lawrence Taylor. Didn't make the Hall of Fame, but a pretty damn good player.
Wasn't his mother
I think she was an educator, wasn't she?
I thought she was like the United Nations representative from the United States or something. She
Not
had
sure.
a really great career.
Number 2.
Oh, his uncle was somebody famous too.
Now, I have Terrell Davis number 2. And I'll tell you why. Well, I'll tell you, he was a 6th-round pick, obviously one of the great running backs in the history of the game. When he played, he was the best running back in the game.
For a 4-year period, he was the best in the league.
Very important cog in their 2 Super Bowl wins. But I have Shannon Sharpe ahead of him, and I'll tell you why. Shannon was picked 1 round later, in round 7. Shannon has 1 more Super Bowl on his resume when he played for the Colts. Shannon made the Hall of Fame, where Terrell, we hope he makes it, but Terrell very well might not make the Hall of Fame. And Shannon had a longer career. So I had a feeling you'd go Terrell. I wanted to make the case for Shannon.
And I think you won. I think
Really?
I think I'll go with it.
I won?
Because length of career,
$1?
accomplishments, more Super Bowls. No, we didn't bet anything. I thought
I remember betting $1 on that.
The reason why I chuckled is I thought number 1 because you were into it every day is you were going to put Tim Tebow because he led them to the playoffs. I heard.
Jeez.
We got 1 minute. I heard Urban Meyer on with Dan Patrick today.
Yeah.
And he asked about Tebow getting another opportunity. He said, well, he's failed all these other times. And Urban Meyer said, he didn't fail. He almost got the Broncos to the Super Bowl. And he said, well, within, 1 game or 2 games?
He still had to play an AFC Championship game. Or I should say, in the 2nd round, they lost to New England that year. Then would have been the AFC Championship game.
They were the division champions, so they didn't get a bye. So they would have had 1 more after that.
He was 2 steps away from the Super Bowl.
But Urban Meyer
Very big steps.
Urban Meyer's still defending Tim. It says of
course he is.
He thinks Urban, and we should, since you're talking about Tebow every day, he said that he thinks that the sideshow has kind of gone away. That now, he said, all the coaches he talked to just didn't want the distraction. He said no coach wants a distraction.
Right. We know that.
He thinks now Tim will rise or fall on being
the merits of his talent.
Player. And there won't be the distractions, and that he can actually be a quarterback rather than the circus.
That could be. One thing we haven't talked about though, he's in Philly now, and if you can't play in Philly, they destroy you. The fans destroy you. The media destroy. That's the toughest sports talk town, the toughest sports fan town in all of America.
But Tim can handle it better than anybody I know.
Maybe.
He does, because he
I can't wait to see it.
He'll pray that God destroys them all.
Pick 6,
Flood.
brought to you by Davidson's Liquors. Fans of the sports show, this very show can get $10 off any online order of $50 or more. Go to davidsonsdenver.com. Use the promo code SPORTSHOW10. That's SPORTSSHOW and then the number 10. And this offer is good for online orders only. They can be delivered or picked up in the store. They are available only at davidsonsdenver.com. So again, use the coupon code SPORTSSHOW10.